All right, people, I got to get myself together, get myself something somewhat neutral, but I also have to be somewhat, in a way of speaking, good to my friends who are Philly fans. I don't have anything to give you, but I have a hoodie, I have something of a hat, I have nothing because everybody knows I'm a Penguins fan, and this one, you know what? You know what? Let's just be realistic. It's time for a top five series, and we are now here to those bullies down on Broadway. It's the Philadelphia Flyers. So I have a lot. All my years I've been hanging around like in the area of Central PA. There's a lot. I have a lot of Philadelphia friends that I'm good friends with. They're Eagles, hardcore Eagles fans, Sixer fans, and all that stuff, and they love their Flyers. But to me, this video, I'm going to be nice to you guys. It's pretty much a religion in the entire, not necessarily just Pittsburgh, Philly, because everyone knows I'm a Penguins fan. Um, to a point, nobody in the Metro Division likes each other. And I've said that on numerous episodes of this entire series. Nobody likes each other. Pittsburgh and Philly never liked each other, but Philly doesn't like New Jersey. Both New York teams, the Capitals. They're not fans of Carolina or Columbus either. But Philly is without a doubt one of the biggest fan bases, most passionate fan bases in the world. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to try to do my best to represent you guys a little bit with a little bit of orange. And while I'm at it, there's this thing called a subscribe button. Hit that if you want to see more of this series down the road and you want to see all the old ones that we have done previously. I would appreciate you. We are still a young, rising YouTube channel. We just passed 200 subs. Let's get to more. Let's do more. And let's continue this journey that we have been doing. We do these hockey content stuff. We do the hot takes of the sports. We do food reviews, all bunch of stuff. We appreciate you. Come and hang out once in a while. Let us take a deep breath, relax. First off, as always, as I like to show everybody off, let's just show that we do everything here on this channel, that we do the wonderful thing called the NHL Uniform Database. This is where I'm going to get most of my homework done. And this one was going to be that you get all the special events, Reverse Retros, Winter Classic Stadium. Then you get all the templates of all the places, and not necessarily places, but all the templates of the actual jersey situation they've done and the time frames they've done them all. Um, we know the Philadelphia Flyers have not been nothing but orange and black. It's one of those cities where every one of their teams has their own distinct identity. They're not all one. They're definitely different. I mean, if you think you're a team with orange, you think you're a Flyer fan. You think you're a Baltimore Orioles fan. You think you're a different one. But the Flyers have always been known to be black and orange all these years. So they have two Stanley Cups on their resume in 74 and 75, and they beat the Boston Bruins and they beat the Buffalo Sabres in back-to-back years to win those. They've been in six Stanley Cups. Then the last time they've done anything was 74 and 75. But a lot of people know how legendary the Flyers are. Bernie Parent, Mark Howe, Bobby Clark is a legendary one, and nobody will ever forget Eric Lindros. So let's just get that underway. Another one that should be on this name is Pelle Lindbergh. He was a legendary goaltender. He had the old school Jason mask. He was a phenomenal goaltender, and he unfortunately passed away in a car wreck. But people thought nobody was ever going to beat the Flyers because of that goaltender, and he was a young prodigy. Young prodigy. I will give them that credit as well. So let's just do this real quick in here. And also remember, too, they were playing in the Spectrum all those years in the old school Philadelphia Spectrum. Then they started playing in Wells Fargo Arena. Had a couple different names. First Union, Wells Fargo Arena. Started playing that in 96. I heard they're getting a new building in a handful of years. I think about 2030, I think. Another one downtown, I heard. So that's a cool thing to see. The Flyers will have a new barn to play in. The Sixers will also be doing that. So I just go back to I'm going to try to fly through this as much as I remember about the Philadelphia Flyers. We know about that orange stripe the whole way down from the shoulder to the arm. We know they had the black pants. We know at one point they also had the black actual pants for their jerseys. Then they were started using them for just warm up. But they had the actual pants, like the actual pants that they wore in games back then. Um, they were called the Broad Street Bullies for a reason, and this was as distinct. They had legendary lineups. Bobby Clark was on that team. Those was on a handful of those teams. The jerseys are legendary. The Flyers logo is iconic. Then they started going to a little bit more modern, and they started going actually recently just going back to something old school, not old schoolish, but they kind of went back to their roots and kind of touched it up a little bit, and it's actually cleaner and really nice looking, and even the road jersey is nice with the black nameplate on the back. I give them credit for that because they are a rebuilding franchise as of right now, so I give them this one. And then they've had their times where, this was a little bit of a rough time. They were actually doing well, and then they realized they just started having a little bit of a rebrand, not really rebrand, but a colorist rebrand. We went to this. This is not really burnt orange, but it's not road code orange, but it's real close. But they had this thing, and we're to go back together and just look to see when they actually started this, and it was actually right about 2008. They used it as a third jersey, and then they went full time with this until last year. I mean, they did some different stuff and all sorts of different concepts with the burnt orange. I mean, this was I don't want to say this was a weak jersey, but it was a different type of orange. But Philly fans adapt to it like that. They even if it's a character change or whatever, they jump on it. They jump on their legendary stuff and they know their stuff and they know what they had. They know what their old logos were. Eagles fans know that well because they know their old Kelly Green to the Eagles of today. I just look at a couple different ones as honorable mentions. I look at this black one here, and I have to go back to 2007 ish, and right about 2002, they had that black jersey, and then they started having this template that I'll show you. This was about 2008. They had this, and this was when they started having that. And then this white version here. The black one stood out a little bit, but as at that time also, that was also slowly sliding into the Reebok Edge era, and you get all that trim on the shoulders and the trim underneath with the armpit, and the bottom was clean and black. And I'll tell you what, Philly loves their orange jerseys. When you add some black into it, add some essence. But there's people in the league that want them to keep that black jersey that they have as a third jersey and keep it permanent. So good for them. I am going to put another honorable mention, but I don't know how much more honorable you want me to put. I'm going to put the second reverse retro. This was supposed to be the influence from 1975. Let's just go back. Let me look at this. Let's go back to 75, shall we? Go back to 75. I like to go back to 7. I don't know if I want to go back to 75. That was the year I was born. But that shows you how old I am. I mean, it's basically just touching that up back the stuff of 75 to what you have now. It didn't blow up, but it did enough. It's a reverse retro. People will still find it and they'll still try to cop it. It really didn't stand out. I mean, it was the back tonal going around with the arm. It wasn't actually, I mean, it is flopping the colors, but this one it wasn't close to being what the Islanders didn't do, or the whatever, or any teams that hardly put any effort to it. I'll give them that. So let's just go to the top five. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know I'm not a Flyers fan. Everybody knows that. But my top five are mostly going to be the specialty ones. I'm going to go number five, and I'm going to put the actual Stadium Series game they used in 2024. This was actually a banger. I like the black on it because that has also collides with the arms, and their nameplate is on the top of that so people can see it. The numbers were huge. The logo was huge. They didn't even have to alter the logo. Logo expanded. This was a clean jersey. I don't know if I would buy it, but it was one of their best ones that they put out. I will put this at five. Number four, I will actually put the actual Stadium Series the game that they played against the Penguins. This was a banger. Because both that and the Penguin jersey, they were both tonal jerseys. Penguins were black with the tonal logo. This was orange with the burnt orange with the tonal logo. All they needed was the shoulder patch on the top and Philly on the back. This was nothing. They did not need to work overtime for this jersey. This was an absolute banger. They did win the game. Penguins won the first one. 2 years later, they played this one with this jersey, and I think we're waiting to see what happens. Probably in a handful of years, if they ever decide to do a rubber match, a third game, and there's still talk with Beaver Stadium at Penn State University. So both Pittsburgh, Philly people collide into State College, PA, and do that. We've been wanting that for eons. It's gonna take a while now that Beaver Stadium is getting renovated. Let's go to number three. I'm going to put the first reverse retro. This, if I believe I recall it correctly, I go back. This is they are touching up. I'm trying to remember what it is. 95. They're just basically inverting colors. You could have done more, but it's hard to invert colors when all you are is black, orange, and white. They didn't put any chrome in it, but there's a lot of detail, and detail sells when you are a jersey collector. If you like the look of a jersey, you're going to snatch it. The big numbers stand out. If Adidas did its job in this one, I think I didn't put this too high in my tier list, but this did all right. But also remember, a lot of people saw it because it was the pandemic year. I think this is something I would consider down the road. If you get rid of that black jersey as a third jersey, think about this one. I would. Number two, um, I like it. I don't know. I don't have to be a Flyers fan to like it. This was the 2000. This was, I believe, if I have to go back, um, I believe this was. Yes, it was 2012 Winter Classic. Played that game at Citizens Bank against the Rangers. Keystone patch up here, the little altered Keystone patch up top there, stripes, the old font, it's the true orange that they use, patch up top. You added strings to your collar. This screamed Winter Classic, and it was a good Winter Classic too. I think this was as simple as it get. I don't mind this jersey. If I found it, I would buy it. Number one, I'm going to actually go their current third jersey. I am going to go. This is what they kind of had the inspiration for. And I'll have to go back once again. This was the 2017 Stadium Series. They wore against the Penguins. The Penguins had the gold jerseys with the keystone on the side. This was what they wore in that, and they kind of liked it to that point where Philly needed a black jersey. They weren't going back to the old school. Just give them the plain black, one stripe, put the numbers on it, oversized on the stripe, trim it on the collar, trim it on the tail. Black jerseys move in Philadelphia. I probably would think if this jersey came out and this was the only one that was available, I would buy it and it would have it, and I would have a Philly jersey in my collection. And I would say this, as everybody looks at me and thinking I would never buy a Philly Flyer jersey in my life. Well, as a jersey collector, there's people that have jerseys of teams they don't like and they have them in their collection. If I ever did a a jersey wheel challenge and the Flyers came up, I would jump on it. You'd have to do it as content to put it out to you. But if you remember, if you're a Flyers fan, what was your favorite? Do you remember any of the alterations and anything like that? Throw a comment in, chuck a like if you liked the video. This was actually fun. I enjoyed doing the Flyers one. I have to do it because the next one's the Penguins, and I'm going to have a hard time doing that one. So until then, the bar is closed. I appreciate you hanging out. And until then, I don't have anything of the Flyers because we're Penguins fans and we know the Flyers pretty well. That's who we remember. I will see you guys in the next one.